6 o'clock gets here, that's when our meeting starts.
Supposed to speak in these. Told him to.
Not right now. It's at the next.
Yeah.
It's ready. 6 o'clock.
I don't care either way.
Can I have everybody's attention, please? Can I have everybody's attention, please? I call the budget hearing for the 21-22 fiscal year to order, and it's open for public comment. Anyone wish
And I'm District 4, your district. But I can tell you firsthand how blessed I am. After generation. With that being said, a costly mistake was made several years ago in regards I realize some of you on the dais or on the phone were not part of the soul. Time, food prices, et cetera, et cetera. Buren County has an official website. The Just Be Brain is still online.
else you want to address the board? Everybody, please keep it to 5 minutes or less.
Most of you know who I am. That there's been a revitalization with the American Legion. Our population. So we serve a large portion of the population. The American Legion is based on 4 pillars, if you don't know that. Our mission's been for 100 years based on 4 pillars. National defense. Okay, we are active with military families that are deployed. We've sent hundreds of care packages overseas. We are active with fire and local police departments. Americanisms. We do our best to make sure that all of the flags that are flying over Van Buren County are in good repair. We try and replace them and retire them with dignity as part of our mission. We do memorials. Most of you have attended our 9/11 memorial or Memorial Day services. We do an honor guard, which is one of the most precious things that we do, is that we pay military honors to those who have served. And again, the next is our Veterans Affairs. For those of you who don't know, little old Spencer, Tennessee, this post over here was the first in the state of Tennessee and the second in the nation to engage and implement what's called telehealth. Okay, if you by now everybody's heard of telehealth, but that is a resource that have made available to the veterans that are here in Spencer. Now they don't have to drive to Nashville. They don't have to drive to Murfreesboro. They can come to our post, log in, and talk to doctors anywhere in the world that provide telehealth service. And finally, our last pillar is youth. We sponsored a number of programs. We've sponsored a number of individuals for youth programs. So to say all of that, we are a busy little post. Okay, we are always looking for opportunities to how we can engage and impact Van Buren County positively. With all of that being said, this last 2 weeks, I had to fill out an annual report. I went through my calendar, I went through conversations, and probably one of the most, the statistic that jumped out the most was the fact that our interaction with veterans, our ability to reach out to veterans and make those relationships, it is my conservative estimate that we have prevented 4 suicides in the last year. If you don't know, 22 veterans from all generations commit suicide a day. And that's the mission that keeps me going. So that's what I'm here to talk to you. There's a building, the former Masonic building, which is right next to our building. Because we have grown, we've gone from 12 members, we just signed up our 78th member in 18 months. We've outgrown our building, but our mission continues to grow. There's a building that approximately a year and a half ago, you've allowed us to utilize part of that building. My purpose here is to ask you to invest in the future of Van Buren County. As you can tell, we are very active, very resourceful with what we do. My purpose is to initiate a thought process for the mayor, for every one of you, in consideration of this building. I'd like to work with you, however that goes, so that we can utilize that building to continue to grow our mission and to continue to have a positive impact here on Van Buren County. And with that, and if you have any feedback or anything for me, let me know. But I'd really like to work with the commissioners and the powers that be to see if we can work out an agreement to allow us to use the entire building. That would definitely help American Legion Post suicide. So that's all I have. Thank you. It's, 20 feet away from our front door. Like I said, it'd be a great asset for us. Thank you.
That's what we'll have. We do have some information on that tonight that'll be coming up in the meeting. Right, as of right now, that building is promised to a pre-daycare. They did not get the grant. They have reapplied for it. So as of right now, we're holding that for them because we had previously promised them that building. We'll know something in August, and then we'll be taking that back up in community bid sometime in August.
My other purpose here is just to lay the groundwork. Some things that we have done, but those are the kind of the behind the scenes impact that we are having on the community. So, but thank you very much for your time.
Should there be anyone else, commissioners, board?
All right. I came here mostly tonight because of the certified assessed value tax rate. And not to me, as I understand it, the only reason to have a meeting is to raise that value. That's the only reason we need to have a meeting here. Now, I understand this has been reduced of what y'all gonna ask for to an amount that really won't affect us much. But I would like to know from each of you what your original idea was on raising the certified tax rate. And we can start right on this end. Mickey, what was your consideration on that?
I would leave it the way it was now, what we're going to vote on that.
Mr. Robinson?
And having to reason, just, I don't think it went up, just point 1,000.
2.4 is considered.
Right.
That's it, from my understanding.
Right.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
The reason for that is just like what Will said, 8/1000ths of a penny, which take the certified tax rate that the comptroller sent was 2.3992. And that is to maintain the revenues that are currently coming in. That is their recommended rate. If you go and you up it any at all, you got to have a hearing. And so, and to just kind of give you a little background on this, actually the budget process starts in February of every year. And that's when you're meeting with all departments, whether it's highway, the elected officials, the school system. That started in February to look at what needs that they have or what increases or even decreases that they may have. And so by the time you get to, I think the last meeting, correct me if I was wrong, but it was June the 15th was the last budget meeting. So and that's why the meeting was put off till now, because one of the biggest reasons was Randy had to wait because he wasn't getting bids in until that day to put his final numbers into his budget for some road paving. So when you get to that point, so you're looking at about 4 months of budget meetings and hearings to get to that point. And you may start at a point of, say, 250 or 260, and then you work your way down in order to keep those revenues the same and just to round it up. And Darlene, I think, is here somewhere over there, and she can better explain that to the crowd here probably than I can for reassessment. The reassessments was every 6 years. This is our second one. Since we've been in office, the next one will be 5 years. Is that correct, Darlene? 5 years, they changed the law on that, so the next one will be 5 years. The state of Tennessee comes in and does that reassessment. We just go along with what they have and how they assess it. And there's been a lot of questions on how that they ended up that way, which of course, when people ask me, I refer them to Darlene because she can better answer that question because she is over the Board of Equalization for the county. Then there's a process and she can explain that. But the reason for this meeting tonight is simple. By law, you have to, if you raise it any at all, you have to have a public hearing. That eight 1/1000ths of a penny is a raise. Now, Darlene, if you could say, yeah, you're wanting to say something here, so you might want to stand up where everybody can hear you.
Certified tax rate is 2.3992. If you go to 240, the difference between that, the 23992 and the 240 on $500,000 would be $1 in your taxes. If your property was valued at $1 million, it would be $2. So depending on what your property's valued at, even though if the tax rate is 276, and we went through reappraisal, values went up 14% countywide, based off the sales that was in the county. So if you drop the tax rate to 240, that does not say that everybody's taxes are going to either go down or stay the same, because they could go up because of what your value is, what your appraised value is now. So you can look at, you know, if your property's valued at $1 million versus the $239.92 versus the 240, could go up $2. But that's not to say that's all your taxes are going up, because your property value could have went up some.
And that one also affected if the property value went up, it would come up a little bit. If the
Yes.
property value went down, some
Then it's go down. Yes.
value,
Yes.
it would go down.
Yes.
And the budget committee, work hard not only log them because, we're going from 276 to 240, so it's being lowered 36 cents. Of course, you get that, again, the values, your revenues pretty much stay the same. It's going from 276 to 240. That's what's been recommended to the commission. Well, the comptroller said, in order to keep the same revenue that you have now, go to 2.3992. It's recommended to the commission to go to 240, which again, if you have a value of 100,000, Darlene, we talked about this several times. If you have a value of a home of $100,000 at 2.3992, I think it was 599.81, and they rounded up automatically to 600. I'm talking about the comptroller when Tammy sends that in for them to send the tax cards out. If you go at 240, what does it go to? 600. So, now there is some people that are going to end up with some more, like she said, in certain parts of the county. She knows more about than I do. And there's going to be some parts of the county that's going to go down, because their values went down. And it just depends. And that's depending on what is sold around you. If you have a piece of property that's sold for $500,000 next to you, and you give $200,000 for yours, more than likely yours is going to go, your value is going to go up.
Are property values going up so you can raise the taxes, or are people leaving their yards all junky and everything to keep their taxes low on purpose?
Well, I don't know about the judge, how that would do. She probably better answer that. I mean, as far as where the eighth of a thousandth of a penny is not really, I mean, it's a raise to round up to the 240. I mean, but technically what we're saying is, it's not really a dramatic raise in property taxes. But Darlene, you can answer that.
The 239.92 is set by the state board of equalization, it is the certified tax rate. And that tax rate is set by our values that we've got for reappraisal minus any new construction that we picked up for 2021 tax year. So any new houses that we picked up, that's not counted in calculating that value because they don't include that. They only include the new reappraisal values. And it is to bring in the same amount of revenue this year as we had coming in last year.
I know my tax went up, I can find the article 20, but I have help with doing that, and I know there's some yards that are really bad, but they're doing it now, or they're working on it. But some people just leave them, and the tax value seems to go down.
We don't look at how the yards are held, we look at the houses. We look at the houses, we look at what property has sold for, if it's vacant land, if it's homes. You look for what, the basic 1,500 square foot house sold for, it's sold for anywhere from 99,000 to 154,000. So your base cost for a standard 1,500 square foot house now through reappraisal is 124,700. That is vinyl siding, no basement, no upstairs, no downstairs, no garage, just a standard house. So if you have more square feet than 1,500 square feet, or you've got additional areas, and then that makes your sell up more per square foot. And then two, if you're in Greenbelt, when we go through Greenbelt, anybody that's in Greenbelt, they don't pay on market value, they pay on use value for their property. Well, Farm Bureau sends out questionnaires to farmers. Farmers turn in what their sales and yield and income. Once Farm Bureau receives that information, they send it to Farm Services. Farm Services sets what's called that use rate. So your value, your market value may drop in reappraisal, but your taxes and your use value goes up because of what's reported. Okay, we're back where I started, because it's not fair to say, to ask a couple people and not ask everybody the question I had. William Maxwell, when you first started out with the certified tax rate in consideration of whether you thought it should be raised or not, can you tell me what you felt about it?
I think what your reference is there was a thought about 250. In committee, we had to have a point of start in order to not have as many meetings, because every time we adjust that, it all has to be refigured and you have to come back. So the thought process of Committee A was that would be basically a number that would be a high end that we thought would be past what we would need to gather information for numbers to see what that revenue would bring in. There was never anything decided on the 250. It was only a talking point in order to generate numbers for Committee A to use. There was never any talk about that would be the tax rate. It was only a number generated to provide us revenues to start working with the budget. And then we would adjust that to the in between there. And as it turned out, we didn't need to raise it at all after we got to looking.
Because of our ambulance service, we had to put pennies in there. We just didn't know in the beginning where to get pennies at. So a lot of that was looking at raising pennies put in the ambulance service because they did not have the revenue in
Had a
certain places like
significant decrease in call volume, which in turn patient charges, revenue from patient charges is through the floor, and that really hurts us in ambulance service because we still have the same cost no matter what, but our charges are not there.
I think that will improve. It was just due to the COVID. It is coming back. It's getting better. But you must understand that every time we make an adjustment to that figure, and that's why we use that 250, that Jessica has to take it back to our program and input all that information, and it changes every time. We were trying to prevent that from happening so many times. We set one, she put one together at 240 and 250, and that's where we were working to use that to go in between. So that's where the misunderstanding come with the 250.
Answer, right?
It'll be the same answer. I voted for 2.4 inch meat, and that's what we favored of.
There's no considered is for budgetary reasons. Anytime you got a long drawn out number, there's room for errors. If you keep a good rounded number, it gives the budget committee a good number to work with. That's my thoughts on it.
Laura, we're actually not here to raise your taxes. We're here to do you a favor. And I hope everybody understands that. If we left our tax rate base at 276 and we don't lower it due to the appraisals going up, your taxes next year in October would be way, way high. So we lower it down to 2.40, which is 39 cents, close to it. That saves everybody here at the property tax owner from having to pay what the appraisal value was. By that, appraising now some people's taxes may go down. It depends on the appraisal. Oh, we got together. The committee A done a good job. I'm on B, roads and buildings, but I'm on the commissioner, county commissioner, full county. So actually, I hope everybody understands we're here doing you a favor. And it wasn't us done it. We didn't praise your value real high. The state did. And if we don't do this and lower it down to 2.40, and I think controllers recommended 2.3992, is that right, Will? So to make it a round figure, we made it 2.40. And like she said, if your property is worth $1 million, they won't go up $2. So I hope everybody understands, we're not here to raise your taxes. We're here to do you a favor.
I can talk to them, I'm more fortunate than most, because I can call them up, y'all will talk to me, you explain things to me, we get more input, and I really, really do appreciate that. But what I was trying to get at was the thought process in when it was first brought up, after the original 2.393 or 32, what the thought process was in giving a raise. Because if it's just to raise it to that point, and I went to Darling's office and we discussed that, and you're right, that's a very, I don't have a problem with that. You know, it's not gonna raise mine, you know, it's not gonna raise most people's. But I was just wondering the thought process in getting here. Mr. Maxwell answered that pretty well, but it's not fair to ask one person without asking everybody. It's just not right.
I'd like to answer Mr. Red's question. My phone number, ma'am, is in the phone book, and it's on the web page, and you shouldn't have no trouble finding my phone number.
And ma'am, I assure you, my email, District 5, is listed.
And I have been able to get a hold of Ryan several times because he knows I'll follow him too.
It doesn't bother me at all.
But if you would continue.
We did start out with $2.50 starters because the comptroller didn't give us an actual rate till like the 1st of June to actually work with. So yes, we did work on the 250. So we plan on move it to the 240, and that's why we're here this evening.
Well, I actually deliberated on the 2.40. I did. I didn't want to raise it 0.8 of a penny, 0.008 of a penny. How I made up my mind, Miss Laura, I did a little figure in here. I don't know if y'all can see it. But if your house appraised for $150,000, that's just a standard house. your assessed value would be $37,500. Under the old rate of 0.269, your tax bill would be $1,035. Under the rate that we're setting here tonight of 0.0240, your tax bill would be $900. Under the tax rate set by the comptroller at 0.23992, your tax bill would be $899.63. You'll never get a tax bill with 63 cents on it. It will be rounded to the next dollar. So there's absolutely no difference in the tax bill at the rate we're setting and at the comptroller's rate. That's how I come to my decision, Ms. Laura.
I'm on Committee B, and I didn't hear anything about the rate until this the other day, and
If for the commissioners that have incorrect phone numbers, I don't see Mr. Woodley here, but for the ones that don't have phone numbers or contact availability on the site, it would be so awesome if the people that you represent could get a hold of you and ask questions, because communication is key to being able to get anything fixed. Thank you.
All I do ask is if you do send an email, please don't curse. I have got a few that had lots of curse words in them. No, Miss Laura, you've always been very nice.
Sure. That's a simple question. What's the overall aggregate increase of your tax rates, and how much is our appraisal value in Memphis County? Instead of talking about individual homes, please, like how much the question's going up. What is the overall aggregate increase, the 8/10 that we're talking about for the county in revenue that will increase, given the appraisal values going up as well?
As far as that goes, Will, do you have that on the? Yeah, it's very minimal. I think actually it's just something like $1,900. Most of them will basically stay the same. Some will go up, some will go down. You know, it just depends on the reassessment. Darlene, the 14% overall for the county, to answer that question, was overall the county. You know, you got certain areas of the county that in certain subdivisions that, got anybody from Hawks Bluff? Live in Hawks Bluff, right? Yeah. I think Hawks Bluff area, Darlene, is going to go down. So they're Rock Island, she'll have to ask her that.
Said it's going up. It's $1,000 the last 2 years. Why?
It's simply saying those that are getting a 14% increase. It's simply saying those that are getting a 14% appraisal increase overall on an individual home. I mean, some people might even be higher than that. You can be disproportionately impacted.
Well, and again, the 2.3992 recommended by the comptroller's office is what it is to keep the revenues for the county the same as what it was, without doing any kind of increase or anything of that nature. The only thing is looking at an eighth of a thousand of a penny to go to 240.
I agree. You're not going to impact me that much, but I'm just saying, if my property went up 50%, someone else's went down 30%, you balanced out at 14 somewhere, I'm paying on that 50% rate. So some people can be disproportionately impacted.
And I don't know if you heard Darlene,
I heard.
but Rock Island Shores, there's lots selling down there for 80,000+. So if you are on or beside of that, that's the appraisal, reappraisal looked at that sale. That's why your tax rate would have went up, your appraisal value.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board?
Mr. Wells, in part of what he just asked, I think I can help a little bit, and thank you, Darlene, for talking to me over here about it. We were reassessed at almost $90,000 above where we were. And when I got this in the mail, I was livid. But when you figure it out, it only ends up costing us about $100 extra a year based on the rate that you guys want to do. So it seems like it's gonna be a lot when you figure it out. It's not. I'm not happy that my assessed value went up that high, but it may go down in the future because sales around our neighborhood might go down. But I also have a lot of people that live near me that are on a fixed income, and even a little bit is gonna affect them. Do we have anything in Grayson County where if we have a citizen that cannot pay that additional amount, do we have a way to help them?
Yes. It's not possible tax. Deputy 65 or is that? And two, I think, did you add a building to your contribution? So she added a building to her contribution. So actually, we're back at what, $90,000
Your tax budget is $100 for $90,000.
I have a question for y'all. On the veterans, if you're disabled, does it not give you a voucher to?
As far as the reappraisal goes, the county did not do the appraisals. It was done by the state. A lot of people think that the county did it, we didn't do it. I just want everybody to know. Any other comments or anything? If not, I close the public hearing. Oh, yeah, oh, wait a minute, go ahead.
I'm Denise Tindall, Earl's wife. We bought our property about 3 years ago, and we moved in last year. I just have a couple of questions because we don't know how everything got here is. Instead of listening to what you say, I wanted to hear from you guys. I got the records. So are we under state control right now?
No, we're not.
All right, what is the total debt of Buren County right now?
It's about 7.4, right at 7.4.
Million.
That's for this building and tax anticipation of.
Okay, that leads into the next question. What are the three main contributors to that debt?
This building and tax anticipation of, from last year.
So it's really just two things that address that, okay. Where do we find the Buren financial documents and records? Because I have dug in the website, I've dug all over, I can't
You
find.
go to comptrollers and look for audit thing.
Under the Buren side?
Yeah, you just,
You know, it's state.
No, it's the state comptroller.
State comptroller.
State control, okay, thank you. And do we have a projected date when our county's gonna be debt-free?
24 years.
24 years? And is that because of the tax and stuff like that?
This building here.
Because of this building?
Yes, it's paid. This building generates revenue through the offices of elected officials. Jail.
And the jail? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
When Falls Creek Hall comes, when that hotel comes online, that could bring more revenue. They were offline for a long time. That's a major amount of revenue. Is that going to help us out? Is that going to be where you go?
We hope it-
Jack, or?
There was some revenue replacement from
The state that we got, they more or less did a hold harmless when they tore that down for us. We got $200,000 a year until it's back operational. It is hopeful that it will increase. But they did decrease the amount of rooms, and that is how we charge that hotel motel tax is per room, per night. And they cut that down about half, so we're not sure of the outcome.
You guys supply for any of the PPE stuff for COVID, for debt and stuff, like some of the major cities that are major in debt, got bailed out. Did you guys attempt to apply?
Yes.
It's only for debt incurred during COVID. we did not have any debt incurred during the COVID period. Is that correct, Greg?
Yeah, I can answer that question. You cannot use COVID money to pay on debt. That's unallowable. Number two is you can use to replace revenue loss. And how they want you to do that, they do not want you to go by fund, and you'll see tonight when they vote on this budget, they'll vote fund by fund, which is what audit asked us to do. You have to compile all those funds together, and then if you're short any of those funds, all those funds put together, not fund by fund, but all of it put together, if you're short anything at that point, you can apply to get those funds back. Okay, so that is that. We have not built the budget for that. You'll see that tonight. We've already received $570,000 from that, but it is fairly restricted, a lot restricted. And to be honest with you, from just looking at the numbers a little bit right now, I don't know how much revenue loss that we're going to end up having. We'll probably have just a little over that will knock us out of that. So we will have to look at other things to be able to use that money, but that budget will be built after July the 1st, which will be sometime after, and has to be built and used this upcoming fiscal year.
That's actually a question. Do we owe the school board money? And if so, are we going to pay it back, or are we good with that?
And to go, I'll answer that real quick because I thought of something when you were talking about the BDS property a little while ago for $200,000. I think it was in April or May that I think Bill was one who made the motion to give the school system, or Brian won, I can't remember which one it was. When we close on that, and hopefully that be within the next couple of weeks, $100,000 of that will go to the school system automatically. That we don't have a debt with them, but that's $100,000. Where's Cheryl? There she is. She done a letter, 3 or 4 months ago about that 100,000 or something of that nature, and that was to replace some funds from the $200,000 in the past. So for that $100,000, that would come off her letter, and the commission voted for that. So as soon as we close on that, the 100,000 will be deposited into general purpose school fund.
And if you guys receive a check next year, and there's a possibility of that, I think the school system should receive they should receive their portion of it for the 42% that the hotel tax was included.
I agree.
Ready to close on it. It's not been closed off on it yet, and thought it was going to close on it before.
We were originally supposed to close the first week of June. Let me just ask the crowd a question real quick. How many restaurants, businesses have you went into that you've seen have wallet size? Anyway, they're an employee, and I think you and I had this discussion anyway some time ago. They're in an employee situation of they were going to send 2 guys over here, are going to be sending 2 guys here from their facility in Saudi Daisy to help train the people that they're going to hire here. The problem of it is they're using those guys in trucks. If you know anybody that's got CDLs, they want to hire them. It's in Saudi Daisy, so go there. They're wanting to hire truck drivers really bad. The owner and the operation managers are actually going and one's running a roll-off truck and the other one's running a garbage pickup. And they've actually pulled people out of their offices to run the upper part of what their yard, whatever that is. They explained it to me Friday. So I talked to them this past Friday. So.
How long does this?
That's up to the commission. If the commission wants to put a 30-day on that or something in the next little bit, that's fine with it. It was just bid out. It was not used as a.
But this time there is no.
This time it's not. It's up to them if they want to do it.
Budget committee meeting, budget meeting, right? County court meeting, sorry. Call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Here.
Joey Grissom.
Here.
Terry Hickey.
Here.
William Maxwell.
Here.
Bill Mosley.
Here.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Here.
Brian Simmons.
Here.
Robert Van Winkle. Michael Woodley.
Mr. Mayor, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Our heads, please. Dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day, Lord, and we just ask you to come and bless this commission, bless the people that are here tonight, Lord, and we ask you to be with them and the decisions that they make tonight to be good in thy sight. Lord, we ask you to be with our soldiers that are abroad throughout this world and just protect them, Lord, and just keep them safe and bring them home to us safely. We ask you to forgive us of our sins and those sin against us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Can I ask everybody to stand with sing the pledge of allegiance? Nancy, can you start us out? Thank you. Item number 3, approval of May 18th meeting minutes. Any action? Nikki made the motion approved. I hear a second.
I'll second.
Second from Henry. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Not, motion carries. Item number 4, notary approval for Dakota Hoke.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, I make a motion to accept Mr. Hope.
Mosley,
Second.
Oh, well.
second by Mickey,
No.
Henry.
Yeah, you can give it to me.
Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joey Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Item number 5, resignation letter by Ronnie Hitchcock from Board of Education. Any action?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept Mr. Hitchcock's resignation.
Motion, Mr. Chandler, to accept the resignation letter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Simmons. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joey Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle. Hey, and make sure everybody speaks into the microphone so I can get this on record.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. How soon do we have to replace Ronnie?
We're not pushing up against any election cycle. You have to provide public notice. You do, Mr. Grissom, as the chairman, or somebody acting on your behalf. You have to provide public notice at least 7 days prior to the date you intend to fill the vacancy.
We just need to run an ad, ask anybody interested to present their names.
And, nominees can be submitted in writing by registered voters. Nominees can be submitted in person on the evening of the meeting by registered voters, or nominees can be made by county legislative body members without a written nomination or without a person asking to be nominated. And that's the procedure you have to follow. But that doesn't need to be in the notice, but you do need to at least give ample notice, and I suggest, 2 weeks at least, so individuals that are in fact interested can arrange to be here.
Earl, you're in a time crunch to have this filled. Next meeting?
I would look at next meeting, yeah, in July.
We'll try to fill it at the next meeting, so if you can post something or put it in the paper, ask for names.
county.
Vote on it.
July the 20th.
It's July the 20th, so we would need to put something where it would come out in the paper. It won't come out. It could come out on Thursday if we get it to him tomorrow, and that could run for 2 weeks, or we could run it for 3 weeks. Cheryl, do you want it to run for 2 or 3? 2? Excuse me. Okay. Board position.
First district.
We would need to put that TCA pursuant to TCA code.
TCA section 5.
You'll say that that's right, Mr. Mayor?
Yes. If they do something in writing, they turn into the office here or to Cheryl?
No, it all goes
Okay.
county legislative body. So, county court clerk.
Whichever one you wanted to do, Joy. Yes, it can run. Yes, we talked about that. That's right. It could run Sunday. We would still have plenty of time. It would come out in Sunday's paper in the expositor.
And the person has to reside in the District 1, correct?
That's the purpose of him resigning, he removed out of his district.
I asked everything be turned into me or mailed to me. Asked to be turned into me.
Okay, do you want this address here?
Nominations, everything come to me.
Okay, this address here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else on that? Item number 6, Committee B report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee B met 5/24/21. First item we had on the agenda that night was the speed limit for Old Post Office Road. Citizens of that road have requested that the speed limit be changed from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour. Signed petition from citizens of that road was submitted to our committee. A motion was made by Bill, second by Terry. All members voted yes to bring that to the full commission, so I would like to make that in the form of a motion, please.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Bill.
Post office be moved 35
Motion,
miles.
Mr. Simmons, and a second by Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If not, motion carries.
Second item on the agenda was the Barrett Building offices. At this time, 4-H was still in there, of course, but since then they've moved out. But we had talked about in early June that there'd be 5 office spaces available in the old Barrett building. The mayor had requested that we give him permission to market these offices to rent. This could be an additional revenue stream for the county. Motion was made by Terry, second by Bill. All committee members voted in favor. I would also like to put that in the form of a motion, please.
Mr. Simmons, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Terry? Yes, sir. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries.
Our next item on the agenda that night was that the federal government has stopped funding for the senior companion program. And also we didn't get the grant for the pre-daycare center. We discussed renting the 2 office spaces at the Masonic building. However, they are going to reapply for this grant again in August. So we decided not to take any action on this time, and we will revisit that again in August. With no other business that night, motion was made by Terry, second by Bill to adjourn. All voted in favor. Committee B also met on 6/15/2021. we discussed the advertisement and sale of the old former maintenance ambulance. This is an ambulance that the ambulance service give to our maintenance department. It doesn't even run or anything anymore, but there might be some parts on it. I think we'd actually put it up for bid on Gov Deals at one time before. We didn't get any bids on it. We discussed selling the old ambulance that was once used by the maintenance. After discussion, it was decided to advertise it for bid with no reserve, just advertise it local. Motion was made by Bill, second by Michael to bring this to the full commission. All committee B voted in favor, so I would like to put that in a form of a motion, please.
What was the price put on that?
No reserve, sir.
No reserve?
Have motion, Mr. Simmons, I hear a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Henry. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries.
Next item on the agenda was the rental prices for those offices that we just voted on. We discussed the offices at the Burt Building. There's 5 of these offices now available, but after more discussion, only 4 are really in good enough condition to rent. 3 of these offices are furnished. Committee B set a price at $400 a month. The other office is just partly furnished, so we decided on a $300 a month rent on that one. A motion was made by Michael, seconded by Bill to send this to the full commission, and roll call vote, everybody voted in favor, so I would like to put that in the form of a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Simmons, I hear a second. Second by Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not, motion carries.
Under new business that night, the county highway department has donated a truck to the county solid waste pickup for trash. This truck is a 1990 GMC 1500. Actually, we need this truck transferred over to the county before solid waste can use it. Motion was made by Michael to allow the mayor to transfer from the highway department to the county government. It was seconded by Bill, and we all voted in favor, so I need that to make that in a form of a motion to allow that, please.
Motion, Mr. Simmons, to hear a second.
I'll second.
Second by Will. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not, motion carries.
We had no other business, and that finishes up my reports, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 7, Committee A report. Will?
Just a second. All right, first meeting was May 27th. First item on the agenda was school board amendments. Director of Schools presented the attached resolutions for consideration of the commission. Motion was made by Mr. Simmons to send to the full commission, seconded by Mr. Robinson. And you have those, should be next in the line. There's a general purpose school, should have been one item there. A total of 145,000. One page, I'm sorry, said the wrong thing. I'll make that in form of a motion, please. Accept that.
Motion by Will, to hear a second.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Simmons. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Will?
Next item was budget amendments for the county funds. Motion was made by Mr. Simmons to approve for amendments and seconded by Mr. Van Winkle. And those are as follows: general fund, 12,155. Solid waste, 9,920. Ambulance service, 19,900. And debt service, 5,000. I'd like to make those in the form of a motion to approve.
Motion by Will, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Van Winkle. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Abstain.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? No, motion carries. Will?
Next item was a agreement with Savick Group. It was used to purchase some equipment for the CDBG grant, and that needed approval by the audit. It's motion to approve by Mr. Simmons, second by Mr. Robinson. I'd like to make that in form of a motion to approve that agreement.
Motion by Will, do I hear a second?
A second.
Second, Mr. Chandler. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? No, motion carries. Will?
Next item was the solid waste fee collection agreement with the public utilities for collection of the solid waste fee. Greg might can elaborate on this. This was a audit, wanted this to be reapproved. It doesn't really change anything. It was just approving the agreement we had with those companies to collect the fee for us.
A question on that. Is this Fall Creek Falls area you're talking about?
Both. It's Fall Creek Falls Utility and Caney Fork Electric. There's
When does-
two of them there.
When does all of it, for Van Buren County end? $7 fee.
When does it end?
When does it end? It ends in December 31st with Fall Creek Falls.
Same time?
Caney Fork, there's no end.
It's not an end, it's just the agreement to collect.
Collect it, yeah. But they asked for theirs to be put in there on December 31st. Caney Fork didn't ask that, but Fall Creek Falls did.
I know. When does ours end with Caney Fork?
Pardon?
When does ours end with Caney Fork?
There's not an end date with Caney
Agreement on
Fork.
$7.
There's not an end date on Caney Forks.
Not one?
If you'll see it there, there's not one on there.
He's talking about the collection.
This is an
But the
agreement to
agreement
collect
with
the
them,
money.
Not that. I know what you're talking about.
This is just an agreement for them to collect the $7. It's not the
They were
fee.
mistaken. They were mistaken.
Right.
The last meeting, it was brought out that it would end on December 31st. That was wrong. The resolution, the fee does not end. Our agreement with Fall Creek Falls Utility, they requested
Right.
it to end December 31st, which we could re-up with them, renegotiate it with them, or Squatchy Valley Electric.
Yeah.
So the fee, the resolution does not end.
From that day on as well. Thank you, Greg Wilson, Van Buren County Mayor.
He was mistaken.
That's, we have to, no, wait a minute. Let me answer that. And, you know, yes, it's a dream date if we can. And I think we talked about it a couple of meetings ago, and I don't know, I think y'all were actually here, that we got to take some baby steps to get there. And if we get there, great. I don't know that we're going to get there by December 31st. Hopefully we can. That's my date. That's not theirs. And that's not what's in question here tonight. It's an agreement with them, with Fall Creek Falls on December 31st was all theirs was. They asked for that to be added into their agreement. We obliged to that and put it into their agreement. And they have to approve that date or those two agreements with those two entities there. You know, if we could end it today, we'd end it today, I'm sure. But we just got to make sure that we can get there in order to do that. It might be 6 months past that. It might be a year past that. I don't know that it ever will. But I would really like to see it go. I think we all would agree with that we'd like to see it go. But we got to make sure that we are solid in solid waste, no pun intended with that, but we got to make sure that we are that fund is sustainable, whether it's past December 31st of 2021 or December 31st of 2025. I'm just using that example.
No, we can't use that money for anything.
That's what you were saying in the meeting that I think you got minutes.
I was saying in the meeting that we could not do without the solid waste fee to run solid waste. That's what I said. We cannot use that money for anything else but solid waste because that's what the resolution's written.
I think he referenced the 2 cents that I think
Yeah,
he
the 2
referenced the 2
cents of
cents
property
that was in
tax
solid
that we
waste
were
is what he
putting
was
in
talking
there.
about.
The 2 cents of property tax that we were currently this budget year putting in there, we were able to move it out. Now we were able to take that revenue and put it somewhere else. But the fee, I mean, I say that's up to the whole court to decide that. I mean, if they can find another way to run solid waste, that's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I think that's going to help out a lot because we got notice, official notice today. I'm sorry, it was actually yesterday. No, it was Friday. Where we're currently taking to, they're going up $2 a ton. And that $2 a ton is going to be, that's going to make about $7,000 more a year to solid waste. We do, no. At $2 per ton, we take off better than 3,500 tons per year. They are going up $2. And I'll give you an example. And Bill Mosley can remember this. When we first come in office, we had, in 2014, we were paying $33 a ton to Smith County. Of course, that's a 4-hour trip there and back, plus your tipping fee. They have now gone up starting July the 1st on Thursday to $60 a ton. Where we currently are going to be going and starting July the 1st, where we're at right now, is $48.50, 48, going up to $48.50 starting July the 1st. If we had noticed that, of course, we'd had the budget a little bit different. We'll have to come back and amend the budget a little bit later on for that. But you'll see in a little while what Henry was talking about is taking and moving tax dollars out of solid waste, which we did. We took 2 cents out and proposed it to the commission for tonight's approval. But the cost of solid waste, if it keeps on going the way it's going in the private industry that it's in, yeah, with PWS coming up here, it's at $42 a ton. Granted, we'll have to go bid that out because we have to bid that out. If we can, we're going to save $6 a ton. That's one of those baby steps that we're going to get there to. Mm-hmm. Right.
That's not including diesel. It doesn't include paying any of the workers. That fund does not accrue a lot of money.
That's in there is keeping that fund at a level for us to be able to take the trash out.
How much are we paying King Court of that $7?
66.
I got a motion on the table.
I'll say that motion.
Second by Henry. We won't.
The mayor's absolutely right about the solid waste fee, dumps fee going up. It did. You're absolutely right. It used to be $33 a ton. Now it's 50. And we used to take it to Carthage. Now we take it to Somerville.
We take it to Southern Central in Smart Station, Warren County. Smith County has gone up to $60 a ton starting Thursday. That's just giving an example of what the cost is going. And we've talked about this for probably the last 3 or 4 months about the cost of solid waste. We got to dump our garbage. You know, whether you have a pickup service or you bring it to one of our convenience centers, we have to pay to get that taken off. I mean, that's just it in a nutshell. And it's a cost that I guarantee you, majority of the county mayors or city mayors throughout this state and this country would love to do without. But it's a cost that we have to deal with. And when that cost keeps going up, we've got a double whammy with diesel, and you got a double whammy with a $2 increase on the ton. $2 per ton doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a cost that more than likely it'll go up again next year. I would think. I would think. I may be wrong.
Catch 22 to this, Greg, is when you started charging residents $7 a month and took away the 11 cents a pound. I think I remember correctly, it said household garbage only. And right now they're emptying their barns, their sheds, couches, chairs, and everything. And you know who's paying for it? We are, because somebody is not taking care of business.
The couches and the chairs and things of that nature, Bill, we do charge.
They do.
Yeah.
If the tenants force them to bring expensive.
I can't control what's thrown out on the side of the road or anything of that nature. I went down to.
No, it's going to the landfill. We're paying for it.
Exactly. We got to pay for it. And, it's not good, but it's a necessity. I'm sorry.
Got a motion on the table in a second.
I heard, and I went over the skirt, people who have wells do not get charged $7 on their water bill for trash. Is that correct?
That's pretty much true. I think we look
And
at
I don't think that's right.
I agree with
If
you.
I have to pay for it, they need to pay for it.
That's why with this deal. With Fall Creek Falls utility comes up, we might be able to negotiate something with Squatchy Valley Electric.
Yeah.
And it would be more in line to what we're doing with Caney Fork. So.
If they got electricity, whether they got a well or not, they got electricity, they're going to have to pay the $7.
Roll call, Lisa.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
No.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Will?
Sorry, just a second. All right, next meeting was June 5th, Committee A. First item was budget amendments. Motion by Mr. Robinson to approve the amendments, seconded by Mr. Siemens. Amendments are as follows. General Fund, 64,863. Let me say that was for a bill for a inmate. Will likely not be charged that bill, but we had to have that in the budget in case that we were forced to pay that bill. Solid waste, $40. Ambulance service, $500. There it is. And that's all. And I'd like to make a motion to approve those.
Motion by Will. Do I hear a second? Second by Mickey. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries.
Next item was a lease agreement with the solid waste truck that we leased. There was a request to change in the contract, which must be approved by the leasing agent. It is here as presented. I'd like to make that in form of motion to approve.
Will to approve. Do I hear a second? Mr. Siemens.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Resolution.
That would be,
Okay, Will,
Yes.
who was second?
I was.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Else?
Next item was the 2021-22 budget. I believe we have that as the next item on the agenda. If you want to move into that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
It was approved by committee, but I believe we have to vote on those budgets independently. Do we need to approve the tax rate separately and then vote the budgets independently? We can go ahead and do the tax rate. I'll make a motion to approve the budget at tax rate of 2.40.
Got a motion by Will to set the tax rate at 2.40. Do you hear a second?
Mr. Van Winkle.
Second, Mr. Van Winkle. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries.
Vote on each one.
Mr. Chairman,
Is there any comments or anything on this part from the commission? Questions, comments? Not, do I hear any action?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the 101 County General Fund.
A motion by Will, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Simmons. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. 112 courthouse and jail maintenance.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Will to approve. Here's a second.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Simmons. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Item 116 sanitation. Any action?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Will. Do I hear a second? Van Winkle.
Give it to Mr. Van Winkle.
Mr. Van Winkle. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Abstain.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If not, motion carries. 118 ambulance.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Will. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Chandler. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If not, motion carries. 120 local purpose tax.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Simmons. Here, a second. Second by Mickey. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If not, motion carries. 122 drug control.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Will to approve. Here, a second. Second, Mr. Van Winkle. Roll call, please.
David Chandler,
Yes.
Joey Grissom,
Yes.
Terry Hickey,
Yes.
William Maxwell,
Yes.
Bill Mosley,
Yes.
Mickey Robinson, Henry Simmons,
Yes.
Brian Simmons,
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
You wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. 131, Highway and Road Department.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Chandler, to approve. Or a second? Second by Mickey. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joey Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. 141, General Purpose Schools.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion approved, Mr. Simmons, and a second by who? Mr. Chandler. I got one question for Cheryl before we vote. The ending fund balance next year is showing 550, 505. Is that number correct?
No, it won't be that, because cash on hand with the trustee right now is 1.2 million. We have about 450,000 that's still to come in tomorrow and next week, even though it's accounts receivable for next week, so that'll put us up to 1.6, a little bit over, and then we have a payroll to go out, that's 94,000. So it'll be 1.5.
It's coming, I'm talking about next year's.
Next year,
It's showing 505.
yes, but that's assuming we pay out everything that's on there, and I have to budget stuff for Chester. You know, that's the COVID money that the schools receive, I have to put that in the budget, and then we get reimbursed for that. We get a lot of reimbursements that, you know, that takes care of a lot that we spend in our GP.
There was some concern because the economy was going down, and I think it was some controversy, some of those, over here at you. And, as I talked to my school board member, I know we, as a county, have not budgeted the negative fund balance. And
Right, and it's not
dropping,
negative,
that worries me, so.
Yes, but now, up until, through last year, we did 2.7 million in capital projects that, you know, the schools were new, so we didn't have to do a lot of maintenance to the schools. So we replaced our roofs, we paid parking lots, we had to replace the cooling tower, you know, a whole bunch of stuff that had come out to be 2.7 million. So if I was to add that to the 1.5, we would be over the 4 million. But the capital
You didn't budget the 100,000 or the 84,000 out of the other, the possibility of the 84. You didn't budget that into your revenue either, did you? Oh, you did? Okay. Okay. I thought if you didn't, that would make it go up a little more. Okay.
This year's fiscal budget was a negative for the school, but their beginning fund balance, which is their ending, is gonna be around 1.4 million. So it shows that, but it doesn't always end up as that.
Because we have federal grants that come in that get moved to GP because the salaries that we pay out, we have to pay them out of GP. And then we get reimbursed by federal government or some kind of state revenue, and we have to remove that, and that takes a process. And a lot of it we don't bill until the last payroll, which is June 30th. And so therefore we have to set it up as a receivable. And it looks bad to begin with, but it's not as bad as you think.
Your budget done for your budget.
By my auditor. And she's through the comptroller's office.
I don't just, the way we have to do a budget, and we have to do a budget.
It's totally
different. And as much grief as we've had from the comptroller, I just want to make sure that the numbers I'm seeing.
And so she, I mean, she's rough on us too. And so she,
Just to show those numbers.
and it is because we did those capital projects that was 2.7 million.
This time last year, their budget was 945,000. So their budget starting this fiscal year will be 1.4. So they are slowly going back up.
We are, it just takes a little while to build it back up.
the schools are expensive. I was just so brought for me, so I wanted to hear from you. I tell people, yeah. Sorry about the interruption here. I got a motion, Mr. Simmons, and a second, Mr. Chandler, to approve the school's budget. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. 143, School Cafeteria Fund. Any action?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Will, second by Mickey. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If not, motion carries. 151, Debt Service. Any action?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Will. Here a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Chandler. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If not, motion carries. 171, General Capital Projects. Any action?
Motion to approve.
Approved by Will. Do I hear a second? Mr. Van Winkle made the motion. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Item number 9, any old business?
Wait, I think we need to approve the resolution. Is that correct for the whole budget resolution? What's in the packet here? This is the full resolution adopting the budget as the county budget for the,
Any action on that? then?
motion to approve the budget resolution as presented.
Motion by Will to approve. Any second? Second by Mickey. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joy Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Item number 9, old business. Any old business? Item number 10, any new business? Commission? Mickey?
Oh, no, new business.
Have approved, which is $14,500. Okay, and it has to do with salaries. I have to take anything that I move into or out of salaries in front of the county commission, and that's what this is. It's where some of our extra money hasn't come in yet, it's some of that receivable that we're getting, and it's, has to do some with summer learning accounts that we just completed Monday. Just so they get paid tomorrow, and there wasn't enough budgeted in there because we didn't always get it last year. Okay, but I have these resolutions right here. No, they should have cleaned that. several of them came out of travel that we moved into 100 line items because there wasn't a lot of travel this year. We incurred costs to other places.
None of those came out of her fund balance, so
No.
they all come out of other items.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve.
Second. Second, Mr. Simmons. Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joey Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell.
Yes.
Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Not, motion carries. Is there any other new business?
Our auditor was in our school system last week, and when she pulled up the minutes, last year's school budget was not the correct one that was in the minutes. Okay? It was not. Y'all have both of them. Okay, you had a different one, but it is the one that, but when she said that one had to be approved, it does have to be approved. And it's the one we've been running off of.
Which is tomorrow.
Which ends tomorrow, yeah, but she didn't catch it until in the minutes, and I don't see the minutes. So I don't know which one was sent to the comptroller's office or anything like that.
You need a motion to approve the 22 last year budget.
I do, because, yeah. It wasn't just the one that was before. And that was the one we talked about last week.
Yeah, we talked about this last
Because
week.
Courtney talked to.
There was, we had, there was two different kind of
It was
prints
the
on the
workup
first one.
audit
Yeah,
budget.
and then,
My understanding with Courtney is the budget didn't get sent in incorrectly, the budget.
Yeah.
We just documented this.
Yeah. But if the new one was not sent in to them, yes.
Yeah, I think the right one is voted on, we just didn't put the right one.
Yeah, the number got the right one, but she didn't get the right one.
Yeah, because it wasn't in the minutes.
right, right.
So we need to approve the 2020-21 budget or reapprove.
Do we just need to make
Reflected in the minutes.
There was two
Correct.
votes on that last
You
year,
just
then
have
we
to
had to
make
come
a
back for a
motion to have the
special call
minutes
meeting to do
reflect
that
that.
second one, or something there. I can't remember what it was exactly, and that
David
second
made
one
it.
is what she didn't get.
You got a motion? I'll second that motion.
Well, David put the
David made-
motion out there, Brian second.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll take my second.
Wait, Herb.
Can we do this, Howard?
I said that.
Need to reword that as,
Rescind, David. Rescind your motion.
I want to rescind my previous motion and present another one saying to amend the 2021 correct budget for the Van Buren County School System.
Minutes. It's just the minutes.
In the minutes. Yeah. I know you don't know.
Brian, you still second?
I second.
Motion to amend the corrected minutes for the school year.
Right.
Whatever it takes to fix this, I second it.
Lisa, you all right with that?
Yeah, I got it.
Roll call, please.
David Chandler.
Yes.
Joey Grissom.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
William Maxwell. Bill Mosley.
Yes.
Mickey Robinson. Henry Simmons.
Yes.
Brian Simmons.
Yes.
Robert Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Do we need to do anything else about that now? That's all we need, right? Any other new business? You got something?
I do. I realize that you guys don't want to talk about this again, but I know for myself, and I can't speak for everyone here, the $7 that we are being charged is an issue for me. The reason it is an issue for me is because we did not start having to pay for that until the new facility was supposed to come at the old BDS building, and that never came to fruition. So really, when that didn't happen, that fee should have been stopped, but it wasn't. And now, you want to keep it going, and because you voted last time to raise, I have my garbage picked up, now my garbage just went up $2. So I pay $22 to have my garbage picked up. I pay $7 to a facility that I cannot use because it's not open during the hours that I can use it. That's where I have a problem with the $7, and it's just everything adds up. You have people that are on fixed incomes, you just keep raising and raising and raising, and people are frustrated. And this, our county, we are not a rich county. We have a lot of people that are struggling. And you guys, you gotta think about us. Because you work for us. And you have to take care of us. We live here, we want to live here, whether we grew up here or we have moved here from someplace else. We moved here because this is where we want to live, and you guys need to take care of us. That's all I have.
Sheriff's Department have something.
This is something that I talk to county employees in various different sections. And I would love to see the commission at least see if there's a better option for this. Just to correct me if I'm wrong, what is the current single person plan for insurance costs?
133.76 per patient.
So 133, just say one.
Employees part, the county
Right.
pays that too.
Right. So just say 135 every 2 weeks for a employee. There is only, again, correct me if I'm wrong, a handful of employees in that.
There's 11.
I think that speaks to quality, I think that speaks to something about the quality of the insurance that's offered. I would love to see it in the coming future, if we could either offer a better insurance, because when I checked into it, it was nearly a $6,000 deductible. And $6,000 unless you're really sick, is not going to be filled up.
It's 7,500.
7,500, okay. I'm sorry.
Nobody will bid on that though. No one will bid on that because we only have 11 people. So we're not going to get any lower bids without participation.
And, you know, I would love to see feedback off of that stuff that would make Van Buren County as an employer attractive to outside talent. Whether, because if you look at just on a money spectrum, it has increased as far as inflation goes, nearly 5% on $100 from 2019 to now. There's counties around us that are starting out their wages, whether it be in ambulance service, whether it be in the sheriff's department, whether it be in whatever department, at greater. We're missing out on talent that could possibly make Van Buren County better.
And this will be the second fiscal year that no employee gets a raise. The state does mandatory 2% on elected officials, but this will be the second fiscal year that no raise for employees especially.
And keep in mind also, some county employees, if they were living by themselves, would qualify for social assistance. That's basically it. I just want Van Buren County to be as conventional as what I know it can be by talking with some of the elderly citizens here. You know, I want it back to the board. That's it, guys.
Jerry, did you say you was paying 135 a week for your insurance? Is that correct? Every 2 weeks? You realize these teachers pay $1,600 a month for theirs? You know, every 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. I pay $600 a month for my insurance. I work for the state. The state pays 80%. percent of it. Just to give you an idea of how expensive insurance is.
I just opened up a meat processing plant in Emery County. In the process of doing that, I was getting insurance. And what I found out is insurance, I had my homeowner insurance, didn't ever really understood it. I called, paid the bill. Our ISO level is at a 10, anybody didn't know that? Which means we're on fire right now. That means it's the worst you can get in the nation.
That's only in 5 miles from the city of Spencer Fire Station.
There
are 2 parts in the county that are 6.
I'm 300 yards from the city of Spencer Fire Department. I spoke with the captain, the lady that runs the Spencer Fire Department, and she told me, right from her, that that's because paper wasn't done, wasn't tracked, wasn't made. She said she's working on that. We have to watch that. It's costing me a lot of money. And that's if you can find someone that will even cover a business. Okay? So that's something near and dear. I know $7 is a lot to some people like that. When you start talking $14,000, $15,000, $18,000 for insurance, I'm not talking medical. I'm talking just the place burns down. That's a lot of money. So if we're talking about stuff that we always talk about bringing business to Van Buren County, water, sewer, insurance, police service. I mean, all those add up. So we really need, and I know everybody's got going trash. You know, those are all things that we have to look at. But that was what really struck me when I called. The insurance company just said, no. It wasn't that I wouldn't pay it. They wouldn't even give me a quote. And I'm talking major national insurance companies wouldn't even talk to you.
It's equivalent to having no fire protection.
That's what they rated as no fire protection, period.
And those are independent fire departments, volunteer. And what happened with that, the best I can remember, is they called, at that time, the fire chief, called ISO to come in and they wanted to get a better rating. And the rating went from 8 to 10, which 10, like he said, is the worst. And he wasn't ready for a fire inspection because he had no training or anything of that nature that they needed. And they went from an 8 to a 10. Now, some of our other fire departments are not at 10. What are y'all? 6.
Well, in about 36 hours, we'll be a 6.
On July the 1st, Piney is going to 6. And so I think they need a round of applause for that, going to the 6. So Fall Creek Falls, I think, increased theirs as well. And so it's up to each one of those. And I'm not sure, but if we get this next grant for the fire departments, we're going to be putting over $1 million in the last 3 years into the fire departments. So I guess
our most valuable asset is something we cannot get. Somebody.
Yeah.
It is awful.
We're not seeing for the last 3 years. Kathy, the new chief, has done those.
Yeah.
For the years past, and did those.
Now, I will tell you, she explained to me exactly what the problem was. I mean, she did. She told me what the problem was. So that insurance is a big thing. So if anybody's thinking about it, think about that. It's big.
I want to address one thing real quick on the $7 real quick. And I just want to pull one thing out. And of course, we took the 2 cents out of solid waste. If we didn't, that 240 would be 242 tonight. But last year at this time in solid waste, it would be tomorrow. We ended at $9,821 in that budget. Okay? $9,800. Right now, we're at 109,000. That's trial balance. So we've come a long way with that. And look, this budget committee, the sanitation committee, committee A and B, all the commissioners up here, that's their work and appreciate that. Number 2 is on the insurance, Jared, on what you were talking about a few minutes ago. That insurance, we bid out in February, I think it is, December, somewhere along in there. So we're under that until at least, I think, sign up or enrollments in February, I'm sorry. But we bid it out each year. If, like you said, with 11 people. I think we discussed one time on insurance that the employees, if the county employees could piggyback onto the state insurance that the Department of Ed or the Board of Education, but if they're paying $1,600 a month, I don't think y'all want to do that. But, it's like she said, there's nobody else that will come in, and I've had two companies in the last probably 6 weeks come by, and we tell them, oh, we got 10 or 11, maybe 12. They turn around and walk out. I agree.
Well, there's no incentive.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
For deputies or ambulance workers to come up. Because they make way more often.
Okay. So,
He said, go ahead.
What happens to the trash you sell? Where does that money go?
the trash that we sell.
Yeah,
When we
like
sell,
cardboard,
it goes into our sanitation fund, what I just talked about.
it goes back into the trash.
It does. Problem of that is, it bottomed out, the metals come back. Plastic is virtually nothing. Cardboard, give you an example, 2 years ago, we were selling a load of cardboard from anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500 a load. We get about 700 now.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just too much. We were going to talk.
Motion to adjourn by Mickey. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Will. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.